Hi everybody, it's Traci from Downward Dog Rising, and just here to share with you one yoga asana. So I did a 2-hour yoga workout last night, and towards the end I did deer pose, and deer pose just hit the sweetest spot possible. So if anybody has low back pain or feels like one side of their spine is tighter than the other, or if one hip feels tighter than the other, I think this pose will feel really good on your body. And so if you feel like you want to release your spine and just really open up the area, soft tissue between bottom of ribs and hip bones, pelvis. So we want to get our intercostals to stretch, and we want our obliques to lengthen, quadratus lumborum, and low back. So I figured I'd share with you deer pose tonight so you can work on those things. If that sounds like it's of interest to you, then join me right now, and let's just get right into it. So this is not going to be a long workout. It's one pose where we have to do each side of our body to equalize and harmonize. All right, so let's start. Take your right knee to your ankle, straight parallel line. Place it onto your mat. Fold the other leg. The quadricep thigh muscle is parallel, and then just notice what happens in your body. So you're gonna feel there's a shift in the pelvis where one half is gonna feel heavier than the other half, and I want you to try to get rid of that. I want you to inhale, stretch, elongate up. When you stretch up, feel the sides of your ribs expand and stretch apart. And as you elongate up, allow your two sits bones to fall gently down into the mat below you. Take a couple deep inhales. Just acknowledge, feel the ribs float down together in front. Expansion, and then connection. One more time, deep inhale. All right, flex your foot, equalize, so you're not totally, if you lean into one hip more than the other, what happens, your pelvis is going to have a little rotation or twist, and then it affects your alignment in your spine, it affects your alignment in your pelvis, all the way down the chain. So really try to equalize each half of your pelvis into the mat. And then once you do that, I want you to think of a string, just stretching your breastbone to the sky, and just feel the length, the openness. We're going to go into the two hip hinges right in there, and we're going to walk it forward without lifting our pelvis off the mat behind us. So I just want you to hang out here for a little bit, a few breaths. And then feel as if the lower back on each side pulls longer. You're sinking your sits bones behind you. Pull your ribs forward and just breathe into the sides of your rib cage. Let your ribs expand. Just let the breathing help you stretch your muscles. Just trying to get equal weight in each half of our pelvis, breathing in. Really stretch head away from tailbone here. Exhale. So we're trying not to pick our pelvis off the mat. If it lifts off the mat, we scrunch our low back together. We don't want that. And you'll slowly start to feel like you can come forward a little on your mat. You can elongate. stretching into the side of your hip. Stretch your sits bones back behind you. Just let things settle. Think of little magnets under each sits bone. And those little magnets are trying to pull each half of your pelvis into the mat to equalize. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. Keep the length in your spine. Settle into the bottom of your pelvis and just breathe. You'll start to feel a release. Slowly take one more deep inhale. Gently exhale, release, walk hands in. Okay, now we want to keep elongating both sides of our waistline. And then if you have any folded up blankets, towel, yoga blanket, another yoga mat, anything that can create a little bit of height, you're going to want to grab it. Pause video, grab it. I should have told you that at the beginning, but I just remembered, so I didn't. So just pause, grab it, come back. Once you're back, take your folded up blanket, and I want you to keep into both of your sits bones, grounding down, settle in. Then you just stretch each side of your waistline long. Maybe notice which leg is externally rotated at the hip socket. Front leg is externally rotated. Back leg is actually internally rotated. And the issue is when the back leg, the internally rotated leg, rises up, rotates the pelvis, torques it out, and then causes everything to kind of sway sideways. So we're trying to avoid all that. Sink down, rise up, maybe slide a little bit closer to your blanket, your folded up towel, your blanket. And then we're just gonna do a little counter pose to the forward motion. We're just gonna stretch up, lengthen, bring the arms down, heart centers open, rotation occurred through thoracic spine, middle back. Now we're going to take our body, we're trying not to elevate, we're trying to create the space here. So as best as you can, lengthen to top of head, do your rotation, and then slowly make your way down. Pull your sternum, your breastbone forward and through. Let's just take a few moments right here. So you might feel super tight across upper mid back. You might feel super tight low back, super tight through ribs. And just stay here and breathe for a little bit. Try to like really breathe so your sides of your ribs open out wide. I just found deer pose to be so beneficial yesterday. Breathing in, breathing out, expansion. Start to feel like a spring is actually like opening in between those ribs. Every breath you take is unwinding, opening space in there. And then if it's within your practice, I want you to feel elongation from your center, stretching over your raised surface, your blanket. And let's just stay here and breathe for a little bit. Feel that expansiveness, that openness. Try to breathe into the back of your ribs, into the sides of your ribs, into the front of your ribs. Expand down into your belly. And just see where it goes. See what it releases. And release. One more deep inhale here into the center of your spine. And gently you're going to lock it in. Excellent. All right. Take your legs in front. We're going to do a little windshield wiper to release your hips side to side. Little gentle release back and forth. Just to release. Awesome. Come back center. Okay, we're going to switch sides. Let's do deer on the other, and then we'll wrap it up. And hopefully this unwinded your low back. So we're trying to have straight line from shin to ankle. And then I noticed, if you can do so, straight line with your hips joint to your kneecap. My hips are so tight from my whole life of running that it's actually uncomfortable. If I have a straight line from my hip socket to my knee joint, then I start to get pain on the inner side of the knee. So what I do to avoid that, I slide my knee a little bit forward, and then I get a little bit more of a release. I can sink down a little better. It's because I'm so tight. You might find the same. See, experiment with your angles on your body. See what feels right to you. You're going to flex your foot. You're going to rise up. And I can already tell, like, I have such torsion in my pelvis on this side of my body. It's not even funny. Like, it's just totally wound up right here in the front. So I'm just going to take a few moments. I'm going to breathe. I'm trying to really stretch up through my spine. As I root down, I ground into my pelvis. And I just noticed by merely flexing my back ankle, I just opened another space through my hip socket. So that just felt way more comfortable, even on the knee. We're just rising up, trying to create length on the sides of our torso. Take a few deep inhales, exhales here. I don't even think we realize how tight our ribs get, how tight our sides get, and then I think that's how injuries occur. If we twist and pick up a load, pick something up with our back, we twist, and this is just so tight, there's no give. So we really want to open the space up in there. All right, now when you're ready, you're going to bring arms down. You keep rising up. We're not going to bend from the middle. We're going to actually elongate to the top of our head, and maybe try walking to your forearms. And I'm just trying to keep the space. I'm sliding a little bit. I can feel this side is hiked up even though it's on the bottom. And then this side is tight in the front. The other side's tight in the back. So I'm just trying to root down a little bit down into the bottom of the pelvis. And just breathe, just to see if I can get some more release in there. So I'm doing deer with you in case your pelvis has any rotation or twist. Try to equalize equal weight through each one of your sits bones. It'll be beneficial to you. Keep spine lengthening. Breathe into all sides of your ribs. When it starts to release somewhat, a little bit more, you can start to come deeper into the mat. We're just trying not to elevate our back hip off the mat. We want our low back to pull open and apart and to release. Let's just take a few moments here and breathe. Really expand into all sides of your rib cage. Maybe you'll stretch arms long. Sink those sits bones straight behind you and underneath you into your mat. Keep elongating. One more deep inhale to low back. And slowly walk in. Excellent. So, we're just going to slide a tiny bit away from our rolled up blanket, rolled up towel, giving us a little space. Try to stretch sides of waist long. You're just going to slide your blanket in. So now you're going to lengthen, stretch, lengthen, then arms come down. Now we're trying not to pick up our entire pelvis. So I'm going to go slow. If you already have it and can lengthen over your blanket, do so. But if you're feeling that tenseness in here, stay here and breathe. Use your inhale, your exhale to expand the muscles in between the bones of your rib cage. And then you're going to start to feel like your hip drop more. Breathing into sides and back of ribs. When you start to feel a give, you can stretch forward, keeping that back hip down. And just stay here and breathe. Rooting down. Try to get those ribs to open apart. One more deep inhale. Slowly, you're going to walk your hands in. Excellent. Come back. Now I'm going to have you just roll onto your back for a moment. I want you to come all the way down to your mat. So we did deer pose to really stretch our ribs, sides of waistline, our low back. And then I'm just going to have you finish off. I want to do one more thing. I want you to feel the two hip bones, anterior superior, iliac spine, pull and narrow across the front of your pelvis. So feel the two hip bones pull towards each other. Now allow the back of your pelvis to widen and open across the back of your mat. Arms reach long. And now you're just resetting hips and pelvis. I just got my low back to really lengthen into the mat so there's no arch. And then I want you to go into happy baby to allow the pelvis to settle into the mat, being straight, stabilized, so your spine is stable. So we're going to just lift our legs up, reach to the outsides of your pinky toes, and then you're just going to gently draw the knees towards the mat. Create spaciousness across front of shoulders and chest. Neck is long. Feel the tongue at the top roof of your mouth. Feel the back of the throat open, back and neck lengthen. All the way, feel tailbone into mat, secure. Widen across the back of your pelvis. And let's just stay here for a moment. If it's comfortable on your body, you can rock side to side across your low back. So we're just going to do our little Nanda Balasana. Come back center. Soften into the pose, spine long. And let's really sink in to those hips, letting your spine release. Relax your shoulders. Feel the entirety of your spine lengthen into the mat underneath your body. One more deep inhale. And exhale. Reach under the knees. So after you straighten your legs, slowly reach under the knees. Inhale, breathe into the spot, middle back, right in the mid back between your blades. Exhale, release. One more time, deep inhale. Exhale, release. And then just settle into your mat for a little tiny Shavasana. Just stay here for a moment. Allow that low back to lengthen into the mat. Relax your shoulders. Feel width across chest. Relax your neck. Relax your arms. Relax your thighs. Relax your knees. Relax your wrists, your elbows. Relax your ankles. And just sink deeper into your mat. Feel the spine elongate beneath you into your mat. Feel the front of the hips release. Think of your eyes being soft. When you open your eyes, you don't want to have a piercing gaze. You want them to be soft, relaxed. Your eyebrows relaxed. Your forehead relaxed. Your jaw relaxed. Your mouth relaxed. No tension, no crinkling up anywhere. Just let it go. Slowly bring your awareness back. Start to move your fingers. Start to move your toes. Be present. Stretch arms overhead. Preferably, I'd like you to turn to your right side. Fold your knees in. Take a moment here. Reset, resettle. Slowly press up. And that's it. We did our deer pose with our happy baby. And hopefully you feel released through your hips, your pelvis, your low back. And I appreciate you so much for taking the time to do this with me right now. So appreciate you all. Gratitude. Breathing in, breathing out. Bringing in that vitality, that new energy into your body, into your mind, into your spirit. Wish you peace, everybody, and I'll see you again soon. So take care. Thanks for joining. Bye.